That's what I already gave you.
We will call the Pownal Board of Sewer Commissioners to order Thursday, July 25th, 2013 at 6 p.m. For the agenda approval of minutes 5/23/13 and 6/27/13. Mail and Chief Operations Department. Anything to be added to the agenda? If not, your motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Approval of the minutes 5/23/13. Need a motion?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes 6/27/13. Need a motion?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. Mail. In front of me.
There it is.
We have a letter from a person that's on our sewer, and it's talking about when the sewer was installed, one of her buildings was on, and not hooked up properly. Has everybody looked at this letter to some degree?
In the process.
Okay. There's some issues with dealing for paying for it, and I guess there was some damages, which I believe are damages to a dishwasher, am I correct?
Yeah, Donnie took care of that during the project as project manager, so the damages were taken care of. I guess at this point she's saying that she was told by Donnie that she would never have to pay a bill for the mobile home.
Right.
She has nothing in writing.
And there was,
Donnie's not here to talk to that
Right,
fact.
defend it. and there was some problem that it wasn't on the easement plan or drawn up, so actually she got a few years while it was actually hooked up with no billing.
And connected for free, and engineering was free and all of that, so.
What would the board like to decide on this for a letter to go back to her?
Is there any written statements?
No, there is not. And it's,
The first paragraph on the second page pretty much sums up the certainly wish Donnie was here to speak to it, if he's not.
not everybody pays it's hooked regardless. I don't believe you can, at this point, make exceptions to the rule, and there's no writing contrary to anything that was agreed to in previous. Any damages that were done were taken care of at the time.
Well, we contracted that out anyway. I don't know who did that particular area, but it was contracted out.
Because it's,
And I mean, if they did miss a pipe, connected a pipe, but they did correct the situation, I think that's as far as it goes, as far as I'm concerned.
The contractor would have been liable at that point.
Yeah.
And there's no way that we make lifetime guarantees on
Well-
supplying.
Well, the contractor's thing.
There's nothing in writing, and I think that that's the biggest point, that if you don't have anything in writing,
And Don was a professional also with this. He'd been through this many times, so.
yeah,
I think Donnie would have put something in writing and he would have come before the
I
board.
don't think he would have done it on his own either, would he?
Thank you, yeah, no, I don't think he would have done it. I don't think he had the authority to make an agreement like that on his own.
And he knew that. That's why I say he was professional in what he was doing. So,
He did what he could do in relation to the project and how he handled it, that was, but to make a promise like that, one individual, I can't see it doing
And even if he did, which I know he didn't, but even if a thought passed through his mind, he'd still have to get paperwork to back it
that.
up.
You have to get permission from the
From the
board.
board and
Board
everybody
approval.
else, and you don't have
Absolutely.
anything to that effect.
so with no prior approval, What would you like to make the motion?
Return a letter stating that there's nothing in writing and no board approval was given to back this fact that the charge remains. Okay.
Something similar to that? Does that sound
Second it.
good?
Sounds good.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Three guys over.
And that is our mail. Now we go to Chief Operator's Operation Report.
All required reports were completed and sent to the state. The in-plant Highworks pump number 1 check valve was clogged, we had to take it apart to clean it. And the pressure washer that we used to clean the upper headworks wouldn't start, so took apart the carburetor, cleaned it, reinstalled it, it was gummed up. It worked great after that, and the tanks and the decanters were clean. We noticed that the main plant generator had a relay that seemed to be sticking after a weekly run test. Fixed the relay, and I called and we had a full service performed on the generator today, and all the other generators in the system will be done next week. All of the laboratory equipment received its state required annual calibrations today. Both check valves and our in-plant waste pumps were serviced. They were taken apart and cleaned, and the new lift for NP4 was painted. The process water holding tank and UV channel will return to the headworks, and walls and floors of valves were clean. The process water system became airbound due to a pinhole leak, and we serviced the system, made a new gasket, eliminated the air, got it restarted. And all of the pump station motors and the in-plant motors, and there's 22 of them in all, have received their annual oil changes, and all of the wet wells have been checked and the bio blocks added as needed. On July 9th, we had a power outage. It was a surge in North Pownal. It caused the RTU to fail on MP1, and we replaced it with a spare, and we sent that other one out for repair. And this event also affected our main station, MP4, and within minutes, we knew both pumps had failed, and the flow was coming in pretty quick, so we were there literally within 3 minutes. And both the drives had tripped, we reset them, but after resetting them and getting everything back up and running, the power fail alarm would not reset, and we've been through this before. There's a motor saver in the motor control panel that blows, so the motors don't blow, and I had one on hand, so we replaced that, and I ordered 2 more. We had a high water event occur PV1 early Tuesday morning, and I received a high water alarm from the station. I was unable to log into the plant remotely, which was really strange because that had never happened before. So I came to the plant, and that lasted about 2 hours. We drove to the station and found, again, a good deal of water around the tube and Green Mountain Mobile on the bottom there. And there were actually workers hauling out stuff from one of the ones that was flooded. And apparently Brian is removing them. He's gutting them and removing them, and he's actually building up the area. So I just said, you know, please relay this event to Brian. You guys are the only ones in the water. We had a flood event. Just make sure he checks out all of his pipes. Suspect there's something under there that when that water level comes up, it's coming in. And Brian's been really good with working with us, so.
Yes.
And then upon investigating why I was unable to log into the main computer remotely, I discovered the hardwire modem in the computer had fried. So I got a portable USB and installed software and got that back up and running. And the only thing I have is that Linda might be on vacation August 22nd. Okay, she will be around for our next meeting. I don't anticipate that I'll have anything for you to approve at that meeting. So did we want to just cancel the August meeting and go to September with, of course, if anything happens and I need you, I will definitely get a hold of you.
Yeah, I think with the board's approval, I think that's probably a fine.
That would, yeah.
Motion. I make a motion.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Yeah.
Darcy, before you finish,
Yes.
back to the letter that we have from, in our mail, when that gets response, we probably need a motion to have somebody sign
I
it.
agree.
So,
Do you want to make a motion for Steve to sign it? I'll bring the letter up to you.
yeah, that way we don't have to wait for another meeting or do something in between,
If you're
so.
not there, I can put it on the door and you can just re-stick it and go get it.
No motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
That way it'll speed that up.
I agree. That was a good.
Darcy, I have
Good
one thing.
point.
On the computer, all back up and running normal? You said
Mine-
it's temporary portable.
Yeah, the hard motor is shot in it, but this day with USB, You're better off just getting a portable, and if that one dies, you just get another portable, yeah.
So you get a
It's
portable
gonna
hard
work
drive.
out fine,
You
yeah.
get a portable hard drive.
Portable modem,
Well,
very inexpensive and easy to replace that way. So probably next year, I'll be asking you all to consider getting me a new computer. It'll be 8 years on that main computer, and we don't turn that computer off. It
Yes, do.
runs, you know, that's what collects all the information from the system and allows us to interface with it, so.
yeah, it's due.
It's time, I know, seems like that flew by really fast, but. Yes, everything's
Just
back,
get
everything's back up
together
and
and
running.
Just look up what specs you need on it. Because I think it's not, if it's doing this type of work, you're gonna need different specs in a standard system, so.
Yeah, there's some definite upgrades that can be done, even on the dialer system. I've explained to you guys before that once we get one alarm at a station, the dialer can't redial out, which is why it's so critical that we get there, clear that alarm. There are other systems, better systems out there that if you get a power fail alarm and then a pump fails, you'll get another call from that station. So right now, if you get one call, the dialer's done. It can't send any more calls out. So there are better and more improved systems out there. So I definitely will
Well,
look
why
at that.
don't you, make a recommendation that you, start researching.
That's what I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
absolutely. I already,
Start-
as you can tell, I
start
already
speccing some
sort of
and-
have, yeah, especially with the modem going.
That way then we can get everything in the budget for next
For
year.
next year. Yep, absolutely,
Better be safe than sorry.
absolutely.
Yeah, if it's 8 years old, I think the crap won't need it.
It'll be 8 next year when we replace it, so it'll definitely be time. And that computer is not on internet or anything, it's completely isolated, it's only used for the processes here, so,
Yeah, if it's being on 24/7.
yes, it has to be,
It's time to be replaced.
yes. Okay, that's it for me.
That's it? Okay, is there anything else before the board?
I have nothing.
Okay, then I'll accept the motion.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Jeez,
Thank you.
Short and sweet and to the feet.
you got it.
Don't you love
My
us?
tummy hurts.
Look at that, 15 minutes.